Welcome to the InGeneral podcast, episode 107. My name's Jack, and I'm joined with Caleb and Chris. How you doing, guys?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Hello, John. I'm good.
Hello, John.
Hello. Speaking of which, Jurassic Park is back in cinemas. Have you been yet?
Not yet for me. I mean, it's not back in yet for me.
No, you're right. It's not yet.
Yeah. Oh, unless this will be out when it is. But no, I've not been there yet.
I think I've seen a lot of people saying that they haven't. Their local cinemas or the Cinemark near them aren't showing it. There's no screenings listed or something. And even though I don't think it's until end of August, September, I think the ones in the UK, I do wonder if it's at the individual theater manager's discrepancy. Like, do they decide,
Yeah, I bought my ticket for August 24th, and I was surprised that there were showtimes already up and listed. Because, yeah, I've talked to a lot of people who don't have showtimes or anything yet either. So
I'm looking right now to see if it's available in my neck of the woods, and it appears that there is nothing listed for me. So maybe I will not be seeing Jurassic Park back in theaters. We will see.
The fact that it's back is really exciting. I think you never miss. Fans should never miss the chance to see Jurassic Park in theaters, especially because most of us, didn't get a chance when it did come out. I was 3-4 months old, so I didn't get a chance to go see it when I was born. But it came out in 2011, I think, in the UK. They re-released it for the Blu-ray, and I was lucky enough to go see that, and that kind of made me think every time it's in theaters, I have to go and see it, because I've seen it 1,000 times on DVD, on VHS, on Blu-ray, but you can't beat the cinema experience.
Oh yeah, no. When
absolutely.
It was out in, I think, 2013 for the 3D re-release, the sound design alone is just deafening in the best possible way. And I'm really looking forward to potentially seeing it again. But like I said, I just looked and I just presumed it would be available, and I was wrong. Maybe the listings will show up sooner. I mean, a little closer to the release, but maybe Pittsburgh just didn't get it.
When I was going to go see Indiana Jones a second time and there were no showtimes listed for some reason, I talked to a theater chain manager and they were like, yeah, we're only putting up listings like a day or two before because we don't know what we're going to show and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't know if like a lot of theater chains are approaching it that way, or I don't know. But
might be that they're like trying to see where Barbie and Oppenheimer are with their legs right now, and then they're just going to kind of delegate how many theaters are available for Jurassic closer to release.
I'm pretty sure Barbie is finishing its run already, though, which is strange because it's doing so well. And I waited until last week to go see it, and it was still packed. And I was surprised to see that when I tried to book a later date, there weren't any available. And then I saw something yesterday about it's going on video on demand next week or next month or something really quickly. And I was like, well, I don't know. They should extend that theatrical run. It's one of those movies that the more people talk about it, the more we'll want to go see it.
Yeah, I still need to see that. Still haven't seen Indiana Jones. Haven't seen Oppenheimer.
Chris, come on.
Come on.
Long time.
Seeing Jurassic Park in a movie theater is a religious, wonderful experience. So if you can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you are one of the cities that have tickets available, apparently you should get on that, because it seems like not everybody will have that luxury.
Yeah. And it might be one of those things that, last minute, as we said. But one thing I found interesting was they'd made the announcements and was a company called like Park Royale or something make the trailer. But the official Jurassic Park / Jurassic World website has no mention of it returning to theaters. The only thing that's still on the website was the Comic-Con San Diego sort of experience thing that they did there, which, step into Jurassic Park, it's finished. And I
wait, San Diego Comic-Con's not still happening?
No, apparently not. No, yeah. I mean, if you go on the Jurassic World website, it is. But yeah, I just don't understand why they aren't keeping all that information fresh and updated on the official website, or even on social.
Don't you know? Jurassic World Dominion, own it now. And I still just love going to the partner page, and it's just crucial: web root virus protection and Red Baron pizza. The frozen pizza of the random small gas stations that don't really sell food.
Red Baron Pizza. I love that. That's a. What
I,
was it?
I'm convinced those aren't actual real partners because I never saw any partnership with them. I'm convinced that's like the pre-baked website, like put your partners here, and it's like
It's
the
Red Baron.
website's like own partners because it's like a virus protection. Why is a virus protection a partner for Jurassic World Dominion? I genuinely think that came pre-baked and they just never like amended it. But
It's right
That
next
is.
I'm wrong.
to it's right next to Kirby Paint and Towel Plus in Westgate.
Yeah, somebody should hack the website purely to amend and fix.
Just make a good website.
Make a good website, yeah. Put something good up there, or restore it to the original JurassicPark.com, where the gates would swing open when you click to enter.
Yes.
Or at least JurassicWorld.com when it was actually a good website.
Yeah,
Is
like personally, I thought it was a bad design, but the content itself was fantastic. Everything there was all these never before seen images from the original trilogy in high res as well that they had dug out. That was all really nice to see. It's a shame that that entire information just got wiped.
I miss the In Universe Park website. That was a really good website.
Oh, that one.
I think they could have found a way to incorporate everything Jurassic Park underneath that umbrella, things like Blu-ray sales, Jurassic Park 30th, etc., but also kept it under the envelope of like that in-universe look. It would have been a great, unique way to handle a website, and it could have been like really robust. They could have done like the lore drops the way that StarWars.com does it, but alas.
Absolutely. When I worked at Jurassic World at Universal Studios, the way they talked about the movies, they were like, maybe you've seen these documentaries about our park. They're called Jurassic Park and The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 and all of this other stuff. And so they could I don't know. That was one way to approach it for sure.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Do you miss working there?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do very much. I wish I would not have left. So, yeah.
Yeah, that seemed like a really fun job. Either the Orlando or the Hollywood park seems to, but I think Singapore, if you were lucky enough, was it Singapore or Japan that has the really awesome Jurassic zone? Both of them, I think, have a pretty cool.
Beijing
Yeah.
is the one with the craziest.
Oh, Beijing, yeah.
Yeah. With that awesome new ride, yeah.
Yeah, no. What Beijing has is exactly what Universal should have built at the new park that they're building right now. I forget what it's called. Caleb, maybe you remember.
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe, yeah. Truly, Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure should have stayed smaller, and as Jurassic Park, and then Epic Universe could have hosted the really big, robust, modern Jurassic World Park that brings in all of those new world building elements that Universal really standardized with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And then things like, with Disney, Star Wars, and Avatar have then thus like taken that approach.
Yeah. You mentioned Islands of Adventure. That's a good segue. Because didn't they just drop their first debut album?
They did. They dropped a brand new album of all of the Islands of Adventure music from. Go ahead.
So all of the music that's been played, like while you're in the park.
Yeah, is it all of it? Is it like everything that you can encounter at Jurassic Park?
So I'm not necessarily enough of an expert to know every little area of Islands of Adventure, but there are 24. I'm looking at the album here. There are 24 tracks. It has it has the main Islands of Adventure theme, and it has like the Islands of Adventure like theme music for the entire park. But then it also has a bunch of the music from all of the smaller areas of Islands of Adventure, like Seuss Landing and Skipper Island tours, and Cat in the Hat, and Sinbad, and Merlin Woods, and tracks 13, 14, and 15 are Jurassic Park Calypso,
Jurassic Park. Go on.
Camp Jurassic, and then Thunder Falls Terrace. So the three of those are from the Jurassic Park area.
At least they're not
of
named
Islands of
like.
Adventure.
At least they're not puns like Mike G. Silly little puns.
Those who have stuck around with this podcast for a long time should be very familiar with Jurassic Park Calypso because that was our old podcast theme music.
Well, as we stole it.
Yeah.
and
Yes.
stole it from the parks before they dropped their debut album.
Like you Nedried it out to
Yeah,
your own
we
theme park.
smuggled it out. Actually,
Um,
somebody that worked at the parks recorded it off one of the internal recorders and smuggled it out on a USB for us, and they never got found out. That's how we
that's
got it.
amazing.
They,
That's
they, they,
amazing.
they put it in a Barbasol can and licensed it to us, so we perpetually owned it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get
um,
revenue checks from Islands of Adventure.
I know that
Royalties.
the compose. I don't. I know there's at least 3 or 4 different composers on this music, because there's an album of it that used to be like on music streaming services and YouTube and stuff. But the only Jurassic music on that album, to my knowledge, was the Calypso. So like the Camp Jurassic music and Thunder Falls Terrace, to my knowledge, haven't ever really been out there in a public official way like this. So it's cool to have, for sure.
What? So is Camp Jurassic? That's. Yeah, I'm going to sound dense here, but that's not anything to do with Camp Cretaceous.
No, it's not. It's Camp Jurassic is the kids' play area of the Jurassic Park / Jurassic World area. That's still there. It's under the Pteranodon Flyers is where Camp Jurassic is.
Okay. I'm
Um,
not well versed in the parks themselves. Obviously, I've only been to uh, the park in Hollywood once, and that was at JP25, which again we say it every time, but that was a great event.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was my first time riding the ride. I think I said this on the last podcast, but the first time riding the ride at night on in Jurassic Park, you can't beat that.
I
That was
tell
such a cool
people,
experience.
like, whether it was the Jurassic Park ride or the Jurassic World ride, riding it at night is a completely different experience.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm in no rush to ride the Jurassic World ride. I hear mixed. I hear
It's
that
actually we're somewhere. We may have already passed it. It may be coming up like in the next week or two. We're actually at the 4-year anniversary of it
Has it been
changing to
that
Jurassic
long
World.
already?
2019, August
Wow.
2019. So,
Yeah. There was a weird period of time in between that I lost track of, and I think everyone else
Yeah.
has.
I think the rest of us have lost track of that time too. And then the other Jurassic track that I see on here is Thunder Falls Terrace, which is, if I'm not mistaken, it is where the boats come down and you can get splashed, and like where the restaurant is and all of that stuff in the Jurassic Park area of Islands of Adventure. It's the music around there. So
It does make me want to go and just hang around in that area and get a massive turkey leg if they still do that. Do they still do the big turkey leg?
yes, they do. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You got to go to the Orlando park.
I
because
was
it's night and day better than the Hollywood park.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, Jack, like, we got to go to Universal Orlando. It's just a completely different, massive experience, even just on the Jurassic front.
we should try. We should all try. We should try and go as
Absolutely.
the Outpost and see if we could spend a couple days there because that would be fun. I've been to Orlando when I was a kid, like most kids that got to go on holiday when they were young. They went to
Mhm.
Disney or wherever, but I didn't go to the Islands of Adventure for some reason. I have like photos of me. I was really young, but I have like photos of me holding a gator at Gatorland and things like that. I'm like, why was I not at Jurassic friggin' Park? Like, like what? Come on, Dad. But yeah,
Past,
we should try. I wonder what flights would be like now.
depends on the time, but yeah.
The other day there was a flight from Pittsburgh to Orlando for a whopping $89 only.
That's what I mean is, like, depending on when you want to go, like, it's either you can find a good deal or it's exorbitantly expensive. So
Yeah, sometimes it can be quite inexpensive to get to Florida, especially. I mean, I don't know about coming from your neck of the woods or whatnot, but yeah, no, it can be affordable to fly there, just depending.
I was gonna say, as we move on past these Jurassic tracks, you have Popeye's Sweet Haven, whatever that is. Marvel's Superhero Island Main Street. That's interesting that's on there. And The Adventure Lives On, which I believe is like as you exit Islands of Adventure, or it's like played towards the end of the day or the end of park hours, basically. So And the last thing I'll say about all this music being released, is the timing is interesting. Kind of came out of nowhere, and I wonder why that is. As far as like, you know, the composers who made this music and like everything like that. I wonder if there's had something to do with the release or anything, but I don't know. So
Maybe they're gonna do new music for the parks, which actually probably be a shame if they did new music, because I fully expect anything from Jurassic Park would kind of get erased and be replaced with Jurassic World. And that's not to say that music isn't good or anything, but come on, Jurassic Park.
it's interesting that you say that,
Come
like,
on.
because in the park in Los Angeles and Hollywood, um, like when I went there pre 2020 to like ride the ride and stuff, the music wasn't that loud, and they were playing some Jurassic World, some Jurassic Park, and then like after they reopened after like quarantine and stuff, like they down in the Jurassic World area, they exclusively play the Jurassic Park theme
Oh,
portion of the music. And the only place in the park that I've ever heard the Jurassic World theme and Jurassic World music is like in other areas of the park, when they're just playing like Universal movie music on a loop, like different Universal music movie music on a loop. Is
huh.
That's the only place I've ever heard
Good
Jurassic
on them.
World. So
Good on them. Now they just need to get Lost World into rotation.
yeah. So, I mean, and to my knowledge, they still play that Lost World type of drum loop as you walk under the gate still. So,
Oh, that's cool. Jurassic World gates now, though, right?
yeah, it's the Jurassic World gate now. Yeah.
So it's
So,
not as visually appealing.
Yeah,
I would
I
say.
still think that was a really weird choice. Not saying that they shouldn't adopt Jurassic World elements. It's just Jurassic Park is the movie. Just adopt Jurassic World elements underneath the Jurassic Park umbrella for the parks.
They
Unless you
should
do
have
that.
sections. You know, the fact that
Yeah.
in the Jurassic Park, sorry, the Jurassic World movie, Nick and is it Nick? Nick's the actor. Zach and Gray, right? Or is
yes,
Yes.
that
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, Zach and Gray. They go to the original Jurassic Park Visitor Center, and while it doesn't look anything like it from the outside, that's what happens in the movie. And then they stumble upon the original Jeep. So it would make sense that the parks should adopt a section of the park is still the park, and a section is world. Like it would make sense, you know.
Well, and the place that they really have or had an opportunity to do that was Orlando.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, didn't they
I don't know.
remove? I mean, I know they've still got the Discovery Center,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and it's still the Jurassic Park Discovery Center, right?
The
But
only Jurassic World thing there really is Velocicoaster.
yeah, and I was going to say the only thing that they've done is ruin the view of the Discovery Center by
Yeah, with a
putting
Yeah.
the
with
roller
a
coaster in front of it, right?
Velocicoaster itself is fantastic.
I mean,
Insane roller coaster, but like the placement is so weird.
it looks like a great roller coaster. I still think aesthetically it looks more like Tron Goes to Skull Island. I don't see anything that's Jurassic Park or Jurassic World about it. And I do think that it's just a very big missed opportunity because people, again, there's so many rides with, Harry Potter really set the standard of like bringing you into the world and
Mhm.
creating these really, really excellent themed rides. And people want something like that with Jurassic, really taking the modern sensibilities and applying it. And instead, they got a thrill coaster, and if there was going to be a second Park, Jurassic World Park, uh, yeah, I wouldn't be as bad about it. But like, I still look at that and just think it's a huge, huge missed opportunity, and I worry that the Jurassic Park River Adventure will get the very strange Jurassic World makeover that the Hollywood Park got, which it doesn't have a flow to that ride anymore. Some parts are good, a lot of parts aren't, and it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I I don't know.
Is the Caleb? You've ridden it, right? Obviously, is the
The
mosasaur the Jurassic World?
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
is the mosasaur thing cool? Does it work?
It is. Yeah.
Is it like the
It's
Kong? Is it like the movie, the studio tour, where you go into the King Kong ride and
it's
suddenly?
it's a similar it's the same concept, yes. It's different. The execution is different because you
Execution's better.
yeah, the execution is better. It looks better because it's not projected. It's a screen. So and the Kong on the studio tour is projected. But it's like it's on moving from both sides, like
Yeah, yeah.
going back and forth type of a thing. And um
It's a screen through aquarium glass also, which gives it a sense of authenticity.
yeah, it's cool. It looks really good. It's fun. Like, and they have water effects that are synced with the mosasaur's movements that like splash the boat and stuff, and it's cool. I mean, say what you want about in between, but like the beginning, the mosasaur thing is really cool, and then the end with the Indominus is awesome, especially the new Indominus animatronic that they have now. Is
I remember
great.
when the photos from that leaked, or I remember we got sent a couple of photos of the animatronic heads, the Indominus head, and I was like, this looks like it's going to be fun, especially under the right conditions when you reach that point in the ride. The T-Rex head from '97 still looked fantastic. '97 and '98, whenever it
Oh,
was.
when I worked there during training, we went up in the ride building to look at all of that when the ride was shut down, and so I got to be about a foot away from that T-Rex animatronic, and it's gorgeous. It's amazing.
Yeah. Did they keep that one and add the?
Yeah, it's the same one. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, but there's stuff in the middle that I think they could add a lot to for sure.
Yeah, the middle section is very strange. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Jurassic World ride makeover was a bit of a rush job, and it shows. You know what the biggest shame is? I'm not sure if this has been talked about or not before. It was originally going to get a Jurassic Park 25th anniversary makeover, and it was originally going to get made over by a creature technology company, and it was going to be heavily Jurassic Park themed. The idea was to get all the all the animatronics that they were keeping. They're going to get fresh new animatronics with a wider range of motion that actually look like their Stan Winston counterparts. And it was supposed to be a celebration of the Jurassic Park films. And then somewhere in between the development, they said, nah, screw it, Jurassic World. And we got that, oh man, I still think of, they got rid of the wonky Pteranodon slaughter, right?
Yes, that was something that I think was universally met with what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
But and the change, like the update that they made to that portion in the middle is actually pretty, like it's a shattered gyrosphere, and there's like compy animatronics that are fighting over a park worker hat. Like, it's pretty cool. There's just like there's also still empty spaces around there that could be filled with things.
I still think they should put a baryonyx because it says Carnivore Cove.
Yeah, it says Predator Cove, and
Predator,
the Predator Cove sign is there, and it's literally just like a bunch of
there's a big carved out
water,
section with
just
nothing there.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that they should put a baryonyx there at least, because then it would like feel really in theme.
Or a Spinosaurus.
I'm not sure they got the room for the Spino, but that would be a
Yeah.
lot of fun. I guess they could do the same gag where it's busting through the wall, but the problem is like right around the corner they do that with the Indominus.
Yeah.
And then the funny part is they still have it on the climb where you're going up and the weird raptor drops down from the ceiling.
Yeah,
and
they still have the same raptor that's been there for 30 years. Yeah.
So it's still like that same dilapidated, mildly Lost World themed raptor that like
my gay friends in LA call it the glitter raptor because it has a bunch of like sparkly things that are supposed to be like electrical wire, but it just looks like glitter.
Oh man, it sounds like they didn't do the best job
no.
renovating that ride, which is a shame because you replace. Understand the theme of Jurassic World was that blue and gray and silvery kind of thing, but that it looks so. What's the word?
Sterile.
Yeah, sterile and just cold. And whereas Jurassic Park always had this kind of safari feel to it that was inviting and warm, and then you get the flashing lights and the emergency stuff, and it just felt very in theme. Jurassic World's visual theme to me was never that appealing. It was, I guess, the whole point was it's like the big theme park that's gone corporate, and utilizing that in the parks just it doesn't visually look as good.
Conceptually I get it, like from a storytelling perspective, but from a visual perspective, I think that in this case it should have been art over story rather than story over art. And I just think that it was that's just the wrong move. Again, I get where it came from, but it just ended up too cold and corporate and sterile looking.
Yeah, well, and the reason I started talking about that is because like if they, I just feel like it's gonna be extremely weird if they do that to the ride in Orlando.
Oh, it'd be
Like
depressing.
like I don't know, and like if you've been on the ride in Orlando lately, it's Jurassic Park. The theming is great, everything's great, but you know that ride needs a lot of love.
Yeah, does
um,
the Jeep, they took away the Jeep that fools, right? Or is that back now?
the last time I was there, which was late 2021, the Explorer was there, but it didn't move.
Doesn't drop, which is weird because that seems like it would be one of the easier
Yeah.
bags to upkeep because it just goes wah wah. It goes up and down, but for some reason that was the one that always broke it. And I think that probably just speaks to how old and archaic that system is. Every time the ride goes down, I'm like, ooh, ooh, but then I'm also like, oh god, is it going to get Jurassic Worldified? But
See, and that's an issue with no matter which one you're talking about, technical difficulties all the time.
did they get rid of the Ultrasaurus?
Uh when I was there, I believe they had gotten rid of it.
That's
Yeah.
such a bummer. I know that it was old, but like when you come
It was
through those
cool.
gates and there is this giant sauropod animatronic that looms over you, it's the coolest thing ever. Uh, Honestly, replace that with a Brachiosaurus and people would be very, very happy.
Hmm.
I know the raptor encounter that they've got at the parks obviously is only blue, and as much as they should introduce other raptor skins for the raptor encounters, they could make easy use of some of the space where they're missing dinosaurs now or something by just having somebody go in there in the raptor costume.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And just like, all right, here
Hmm.
comes the ride. Let's just fuck around.
There's at the end when you're up in the ride building and on the Jurassic World ride in the finale of that ride, there's Blue is there, and the animatronic that they have for her is great when
yeah,
it's
'cause it
working.
actually move when
When
it's
it's
working.
when it's working, it looks phenomenal. But when it's not, or when it's only like 75% or 50%, it's like, oh man. But
What would
yeah,
be the reason that they aren't pumping money into upkeep, though?
I don't know.
Probably in the case of like Harry Potter, it's an outside IP owner, and that outside IP owner probably is very stringent about the upkeep. But when it's them themselves owning it, they could probably go, "We're okay with it, right? Yeah, we're okay with it. Okay."
These rides and these things are reflective of the movies themselves, as far as let's make money as fast as possible and not put as much money into security and upkeep and things that we should be putting money into.
But I don't know. There's a lot of room for growth in there, and
Yeah.
I hope it eventually happens. But I do worry that if it happens, it's going to be like we're tearing down the visitor center and building the innovation center, and the Jurassic Park ride is just going to get the same Hollywood makeover that most people are like lukewarm on at best.
Hmm.
I hope
Um,
it doesn't happen. I think now that the movies are done, the Jurassic World movies, at least for now, are kind of done. Uh, the studio might look at that and think, look, let's just renovate Jurassic Park because it's the 30th anniversary. That's done really well. Everybody's talking about Jurassic Park again. Uh, Maybe they're going to wait to see
what happens next with the live action realm? That
what happens next with live action, but also what happens with ticket sales for Jurassic Park, just to really ensure, yeah, people still love the original and it's worth pumping some money into upkeep on the parks because it would be nice to go and visit, Jurassic Park again, and if it was recently renovated and the animatronics look like the ones from the movie, that would be a lot of fun. Even as we are now, we're not kids, but going into
yeah.
that world would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I think keeping
Yeah.
Jurassic Park makes a lot of sense. It's literally one of the most iconic classic movies of all time.
Yep.
So keeping it makes sense. They got Jurassic World at other parks. Keep Jurassic Park there. But again, I'm already seeing that slow keep with the mediocrely themed Velocicoaster.
The dream, and something that would make sense for them to do in Orlando, is to keep Jurassic Park as it is, even keep Velocicoaster as it is, and then put the majority of the Jurassic World stuff over in the new park that they're building, and say
Yes.
that's Jurassic World over there. Because the way they, like, even with Velocicoaster as it is, the way they mostly talk about it is like, this is just the raptor pin. They don't say, oh, that's Jurassic World. They say, oh, that's Velocicoaster, that's the Velociraptor enclosure of the Velociraptor pin. So like you could have Jurassic Park here and Jurassic World there, but
Yeah, and if they really wanted to go full into it, they could always renovate the Velocicoaster with a more Jurassic Park themed. If they ever go full out by diversifying the two parks, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I don't know how they would do that with the queue ride segments,
yeah,
but I still think that they could at least visually Jurassic Parkify it a little bit.
yeah,
I think we could talk about this forever, but
Yes.
the one thing that I took away from when we were in Hollywood was how, I think we've had a whole podcast about it, but how impressive the Harry Potter section was. Not
Mhm.
just, oh, it's the castle you can go into, not just, oh, it's, well, not the castle, Hogwarts. Not just, oh, you can go on the ride, which was amazing. But you just walk around the land, and even the paving on the ground is stuff from Harry Potter. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's what Jurassic Park is
All the
missing.
little shop windows with like these little interactive displays with like magic on display. It's like, oh man, Jurassic Park, like they shouldn't just have animatronics on the rides. Like as you're walking through it, it'd be really cool if there were like little fencings and you can see little dinosaurs in the background, like little things that create these photo ops and that really full on immersive experience. Even
Yeah.
putting like on top of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World gates, like put like a little pteranodon animatronic that occasionally like moves its head or something along
And they
those
should
lines.
they should bring in all the vehicles they have that are sort of on the studio tour or it's hidden somewhere. Bring them into this Jurassic area, this Jurassic Park world, and have scenes with them and have them through little parts of the. You go through foliage, and then wow, it's just like a scene from the Lost World or something, and you could
Yeah.
have like projection through the trees where something runs across. I just think things like that would really elevate the world.
Yeah.
You know, I like the Mummy ride at Universal Hollywood, but I won't lie, that's prime real estate to expand Jurassic Park. Keep the Mummy in Florida because
It's prime real estate to put in a gyrosphere roller coaster
yeah,
or something.
it could
Yeah.
even basically keep the same tracks with the backward segment and everything like that, but then
Exactly.
do a really cool themed dark ride experience. The Florida Mummy ride is better anyhow, so they could keep that one, but I think the Universal one could certainly go Jurassic themed.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I was gonna say like that for some reason they've taken all the Jurassic Park stuff in Hollywood and put it on the studio tour. Like there's a section of the studio
Mhm.
tour now that is Jurassic Park. They have a bunch of vehicles in the trailer facades from the Lost World. They have the Spinosaurus,
Yeah,
like
see,
full size
should be
maquette
brought back
there.
in, build the world of Jurassic Park, and have all these different ops and photo ops and sound projection. Sound, they have speakers in the floor for Harry Potter, right? Sometimes things happen, and I don't know. That would be a lot of fun.
there's a lot of ways to do it, and how they could even build a little volcano that occasionally could erupt or something for like theming if they wanted to.
All
Build
those tourists would be killed instantly. And
They
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have
reset.
Claire saying "Holy shit" on a loop
yeah,
as the volcano erupts.
Yeah,
when it gets overpopulated in the park, just wipe them out.
it's volcano time. Speaking of volcanoes, let's talk about Beyond the Gates. The three of us work on Beyond the Gates, so it makes sense. Let's talk about some of the processes behind the scenes. Caleb, you've been working with us from the very beginning of the show.
Yeah.
You said in some message yesterday or something. It's like 2020, right? 2021, 2020.
Late 2020, you guys messaged me and were like, "Hey, we have this thing. It's a Jurassic thing, and we can't say what it is yet. Do you want to work with us on it?"
We couldn't say what it was. That's funny.
Okay, yeah.
We needed you to sign an NDA or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been 3 years into this now, so we're on the third, quote unquote, third season. That's what we call it internally, right?
Yeah.
03 E09 or whatever.
Yeah.
No, for real though. We're on the third year of this now, and it's been a really fun, different, sometimes crazy project to be a part of. That's kind of all I got to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, that really does kind of sum it up. It's been a really wild ride. It's been a lot of fun having these. Especially the opportunity to bring in guests from the films and sometimes share unique behind the scenes stories or occasionally even images. Same with the toys, being able to show the design process, things that you normally just wouldn't see, I think is always a lot of fun. being
You know,
able to.
I saw a comment on this recent episode. It wasn't on the episode. It was somebody had tweeted it, and these things don't bother me. But when somebody had said, you know, they just need to cancel Beyond the Gates now because it was these toys have been out for ages, and I was just thinking, do these people not actually like one? Do they not watch the episode? But two, do they not find any? Do they not get anything from like it's an interview with Matt Winston where he's
No,
talking about brand new things no one's ever heard of about the animatronics from the Lost World, you know?
most of the people, yeah, it's usually they don't watch the episode. I've seen people like comment something like that, and then somebody like shares an image or like like story from the episode, and people are like, "Wait," and they'll be like, "Wait, where's that from?" And it's like, the episode that you said that you didn't like because you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't, like you decided you know everything about it, so there's no point watching it, and then you're going, "Oh, where's that from? That's really cool. What's that from?" Well, it's the episode that you're just commented on.
Yeah.
Well,
How
that's
do
the
you
thing. We try and we have tried since the very beginning to make these episodes not just about the toys, about the process that's involved with designing them. And obviously, Greg, Raf, Chandra, and the people we've interviewed at Mattel have been really open and honest about the development of the figures. But then we bring in guests like Phil Tippett, Dennis Murin was wonderful, and we actually for the Dennis Murin we were really trying to get some never before seen things from ILM, and they did actually dig into their archive a little bit and get some super high resolution screen caps of the thing. But one thing Dennis Murin spoke about was the tree trunk.
Yeah.
The tree trunk, and we it was so funny. We asked him. Obviously, we interview these people for a lot longer than in the 2-minute 30 episode, but as soon as we mentioned how far along in the process did you film the sequence where the characters mistake the Brachiosaurus leg for the tree trunk, and he instantly recalled that
He
sequence.
was like, "Yeah, I remember doing like VFX tests for that and everything along those lines." He could not recall if they actually filmed it or if they were only doing VFX tests. But he's like, "Yeah, I remember working on that." And he's like, "It got changed for one reason or another." But yeah, that was that scene was something that he recalled working on and recalled, and that's pretty cool. And hey, maybe someday, maybe us talking about that will spark them to find it in their archives and share it. Didn't happen for Beyond the Gates, but maybe, just maybe, it might get it to happen anyhow.
That's the thing. I think we're always trying to fill the episodes with as much new and behind the scenes content that we can. But as a fan of Jurassic myself, just hearing these legends talk again, um, even the Mattel people, hearing them talk, because they're as much fans as we are, but hearing people who made the original movies talk so passionately again still about these movies, for me, it doesn't matter if they've said something before in a making of doc or something. It's so amazing to hear these things again and hear the passion and what they think about it. I think one of the funniest ones was interviewing Phil Tippett. He is a absolute character if you've ever seen interviews with Phil Tippett. But he was he was a fun one to interview.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is John Bell. I love
Mhm.
I like, and he's been on multiple episodes. And I love hearing him talk about like his inspirations for the vehicles and the colors and everything like that.
Oh man, John Bell's artistry is truly one of the biggest driving forces between like the visual iconography that we love so much from Jurassic Park. His
Absolutely.
collaboration with Rick Carter is really like what brought us to Jurassic Park, and that's why, like, man, if we get a live action film in the future that really like wants to jump back in and explore new visual identities, I would love to get that John Bell Rick Carter collaboration happening again.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if you look at John Bell's unused artwork for Jurassic World, he brought such a unique visual look to Jurassic World that ultimately didn't make the movie. I think that they've been candid about it and said, "Hey, it was just mainly a budgetary thing." Most of those visuals didn't make it because of budgetary reasons, and then that's why they went for the more corporate look, because it was something that was a little bit more obtainable, and they're able to justify it within the story. But
Yeah, it's a shame. I have one of John Bell's Jurassic Park 4 posters, Isla Nublar, and it just screams Jurassic Park. There's so much about it that screams the original Nublar. It's got that safari feel, and yeah, you're right. His artwork is one of the main reasons Jurassic Park became so iconic, and its visual iconography of it. His Lost World artwork as well always gives me that Jurassic nostalgia feeling. The
Yeah,
trailers.
I'm on his website right now, just looking at these alternative Jurassic. Well, they're Jurassic Park at that time, not Jurassic World, but the alternative Jurassic World gates, which were just so interesting with their usage of like the DNA helixes, like mixing with the gates and the
Oh, his
sculptural
Jurassic World
elements.
gates were insane.
Yeah,
The huge ones with the like brachiosaurs at the
Yeah,
side.
I was gonna say the brachiosaur neck gates. Those are awesome.
oh
Yeah,
man, this artwork is just phenomenal, and yeah, I don't know. Would love to see it. I mean, hell, if they want to redo the Jurassic Park theme parks, bring John Bell in. If they're like,
yeah,
hey, we need something unique that fits like the constraints of the island. We want to give it its own visual identity. It's like, get John Bell.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking at his three pieces of Jurassic Park 3 concept art that were done very early on in the process of that movie.
I
But
would
I,
love to read that script.
yeah, one, I want to read that script, but two, I want to see what else John Bell has got behind the scenes, because I think there's probably a lot more
Yeah.
that he's holding on to or hasn't found in his own archives.
Hasn't found is probably the most likely answer because he's been pretty candid of saying he's posted what he's found. But there's no doubt there are things that like either didn't go back into his possession or that he never really considered fully developed to like properly archive. Because you hear that story, it's the tale as old as time with artists where they're like, yeah, I posted it all. And then occasionally they'll find something and be like, well, the sketch isn't that good, so I didn't really like, or like Carlos Suante with Jurassic Park 4 artwork, and then every so many years he'll be like, oh, yeah, I've posted it all, that's all there is to it. And then every so many years he'll find a new one and he'll be like, oh yeah, here's the raptor with a Gatling gun as its arm, forgot about that one. And it's like,
Yeah. You know what, that interview with him where he talked about what actually happened behind the scenes there was really eye-opening to that movie. You know, we all heard the rumors that Spielberg saw the artwork and immediately canceled the project, and it wasn't quite like that. But there was also an element of it where it seemed like, in a way, Joe Johnston was trying to push to the extreme so that the script
kill the idea.
to kill the idea, yeah, which was very smart on his behalf. It's just
Which we've heard from people here and there, mixing that with what Carlos Suante said, where he's like, yeah, Joe was trying to kill the franchise. And it wasn't like he was trying to make the franchise killer. But then talking to other people, they're saying, no, that's not what Joe was doing. Joe didn't want to do this crazy militarized raptor hybrid plot. So he was trying to push that to the extreme to go into a more genuine Jurassic Park style route.
Yeah.
So he was just trying to basically kill the idea of bringing the franchise into like militarized hybrid dinosaurs. He's trying to kill that idea. Not
yeah, and I think as much as people, you know, Jurassic Park 3, yeah, has its own fair share of problems, but I still would have loved to see Joe Johnston have another go. I actually read an interview with him from 2003 or 4 recently, where he was clearly trying to say, I need another shot at Jurassic. And I feel like, based on the interview I did with Shelley Johnson as well, and what he was saying about it, they both were just kind of waiting for that opportunity to really do a good Jurassic again.
Yeah.
And I really am a little, because Jurassic Park 3 has a lot of elements that are Jurassic Park feeling. And like, you look at the birdcage sequence, that is a really fantastic sequence, both visually and in its execution. I feel like, even though we've moved on a long time now, but having given them another shot back then, it could have rewrited the franchise again, and Jurassic Park 4 could have ended up being this insane Lost World feeling movie, but with mainland sections, because obviously we know Jurassic Park 3 was going to be partly on the mainland originally, which made sense for what we see at the end of Lost World and the sort of natural progression of things from the Crichton novels and stuff.
And we finally have an idea of what that story was, thanks to the Ultimate Visual History book.
Yep.
We finally know basically like a 4-page summary of the early Jurassic Park 3 script, which is more than what we knew back then, because all we knew was like mainland and like dual protagonists. But like that gave a very good overview of like what the story. It gave a beat by beat breakdown of like how the story was going to go, and it sounded really really interesting. And it's a bummer we didn't get that movie.
I
It made-
love I love that Jurassic Park 3 has gained such a positive light 22 years later. I love that. And I I count myself among those who did not like that movie for a long time, but I love that movie now, and like I will watch it on a random evening just because it's Jurassic and it feels Jurassic and it's an escape. So
Funny story about Jurassic Park 3. It is the highest grossing movie for a B minus cinema score.
nice.
It's a very
Yeah.
random fact, but that is
I was gonna say
Or breakdown of the highest grossing films by cinema score. So like for A plus it was Endgame, A it was Force Awakens, A minus Frozen 2, B plus The Rise of Skywalker, B Batman versus Superman, B minus Jurassic Park 3, and it just goes on to
wow,
Jurassic
what
Park.
a distinction. No,
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say there are, just because we were talking about artists and things in their archives that they forget. There are pieces of music that I made for Beyond the Gates that were never used that are just sitting in files on my computer. So, and I have no idea where they are. So, yeah,
That's very Jean Bellevue.
yeah, exactly.
No,
And they're not as good as what was actually used. So,
well, I
yeah.
think it's that's a testament to your music. When we have Lost World sounding, I remember when we first had a Lost World item, and me and Chris were kind of bombarding you with messages like Lost World sounds, drums, like blah, blah, blah. And I don't think I remember that moment when me and Chris first we synced your new track up to that Lost World episode, and we turned the volume up a little bit on that. We watched it together, and the feeling that came away from where we were so excited and so pumped by what you'd created, and it was so perfectly the Lost World. And I'm yeah, that was
No,
exciting.
it's so much fun making music for Beyond the Gates. And then when you guys message me and you're like, make this the Lost World, like even more fun.
Do the
And
Lost
that's
World.
exactly, and that's happened. That's
Yeah.
happened in every season that we've done. So
I
there have
think this
been,
season as well has been the most Lost World. It
yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of Lost World.
Jurassic Park is my religion, and the holiest scripture is the Lost World is in everything. So
Yeah.
you can find the Lost World in everything, because like I wrote the music for this season, like not intending it to be that at all, but then like I was able to implement those Lost World drums into it, and it fit. So
It
yeah.
does. It really does. You know, that's why it's a shame we've had a number of Jurassic Park 3 items, but not enough to, you know, make it a kind of really Jurassic Park 3 inspired episode, especially because usually they're paired with another item from Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, or Lost World or something.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping there will be like a Jurassic Park 3 Spinosaurus or something like that, or
Udesky with neck snap in action.
yeah, and back splitting action. You know, the raptor claw.
That'll damage Udesky.
Yeah, rip open his back. No,
Epic Evolution Raptor Trap.
they should do a Udesky figure with a massive wooden piece of wood. You know,
Massive wooden piece of wood.
a massive wooden piece of wood. No, what is in that screenshot? It is
Something unexpected
brand.
has evolved.
Yeah, yeah.
Udesky's mustache.
But that's one thing that I think is quite criminal of Mattel, is that they haven't done any humans from Jurassic Park 3. Except for they have done
Grant.
They've done Grant, yeah.
But he was an Amazon exclusive, very hard to find. And
Yeah, not like marketed at all. Like it just sort of came out, and I was like, oh, cool, are these 2-packs going to be a thing? And it was just a one-off, and
oh, there it is. Caleb's got it.
There it is.
It is a cool looking figure. I don't have that one.
I have
Raptor disappoints me though. If I'm
I
being
have Park Grant, JP3 Grant, Dominion Grant, in a line next to each other.
Nice.
But yeah.
Nice. Do you remember the rumor that it was an IMDb rumor, so I don't think it had much substance, but back in the day when IMDb trivia was where we used to go for like, oh my god, did you know this? That Jeff Goldblum's character, I don't know if you know, plays Ian Malcolm, Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
he was going to be in Jurassic Park 3, but he broke his leg before filming. Do you remember that rumor that was on the trivia pages?
I do recall that rumor. I'm not sure if there's any credit to it.
Did Jeff Goldblum actually break his leg around that time?
That's what I need to find out. We need to ask the man.
Wasn't there like a rumor that like he like remember like there was like a rumor that he fell off a cliff filming Jurassic Park 4 back in the days as well, or something like that?
I remember that. Yeah.
People just like rumors of Jeff Goldblum getting fucked up.
I remember when the Universal, I think it may have been it must have been in Hollywood, the studio tour, they had Jurassic Park 4 listed as filming in one of the stages, and this was like 2008 2009 maybe. Do you remember that? It was on like the studio filming the tour.
I mean, I know exactly where that
like,
little slate is. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was somebody had written Jurassic Park 4 on there, filming in like stage 12 or something, and everyone was going nuts for a long time.
Occasionally, you will get a studio tour guide who like loves Jurassic Park, and they will like point out, "Oh, see that parking garage over there? That's where they filmed the trailer sequence or parts of the trailer sequence in The Lost World." So, yeah.
As they should.
Exactly.
I remember there was always videos back in the day when it was in the development hell zone, Jurassic Park 4, I should say, when it was in development hell for 12, 15 years, whatever it was, there was always the occasional video that would pop up where someone was like, I was on the studio tour and the guy said it's filming, or like, it's coming soon. I was like, well, yeah. As a teenager, I was very pumped by those kind of things, but very quick to realize that that's just studio tour talking, trying to hype up the tour, But that was always really fun. I remember there were rumors way back in the day coming out of Hawaii where Bob's movie tours and stuff would be like they've booked out a whole hotel because they're filming Jurassic Park 4, and it's kind of like these guys didn't lie. They were booking something. Something was happening.
Who's Bob?
Bob.
Rob.
He was the Kauai guy who ran a movie tour company.
Oh, gotcha.
So he was the one that like would have pictures of Jurassic Park 3's filming. He uploaded he went to like the beach set for Jurassic Park 3 and I think was given or took some screenplay pages and put them online.
Oh, wow.
So he was like the guy that was on boots on the ground when Jurassic 3 was filming.
Oh, wow.
So for years he was like, wow, we've caught wind. Universal are booking something for Jurassic, and there was always they're booking it. Then it was cancelled. The hotel got booked out by Universal, and then it was they cancelled all the rooms. It makes you wonder how close was it back then. At some points, like
yeah,
you know that Hasbro were like making the toy line,
yeah,
which indicates that it was very much like greenlit.
Yeah,
but it does make you wonder. I would love to know, like, it would be a very cool discovery if somewhere along the line somebody leaked like some B-roll or some like transferred footage.
Those things, yeah, and like
it was like, wait, what is this from? And it was like parts of Jurassic Park 4, and then the cameras stopped rolling, and they like pulled back and didn't make the movie. But imagine if they shot something.
The reason they're not leaking that is because it's of Jeff Goldblum breaking his leg.
Right? He broke his leg
share that
and fell off a cliff while he was breaking his leg.
That was a Stan Winston animatronic that nommed on it and just absolutely demolished it.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean, with time, it's crazy what happens with time. Like, because like maybe in 5 or 10 years, somebody will say, "Oh yeah, I worked on this very, very early Jurassic Park 4 thing," and nobody ever knew about it. But
I'm just shocked that early scripts have not come out for Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic Park 4 especially.
Yeah.
Other than the one that leaked on Reddit, but you know that other people are in possession of those, and I just hope that someday they come out because they're old news at this point. They're just sitting in somebody's dusty box, and then they'll probably open it and be like, yeah, I forgot that was a thing almost. Well, might as well put it on the internet.
I had one guy tell me a couple of years ago that he had a draft of the John Sayles script, but it said on the front Rev by Monahan. So it was when William Monahan rewrote some of it. So that screenplay in itself does exist in some script trading communities, but nobody within the Jurassic community, at least that cares to share it, has seen that script.
I'm sure script traders have it, but I've not heard of anybody that's tight in the. You know how like usually you can get word if somebody has something within like the tighter Jurassic community. I've not heard of anybody with that.
No.
I mean, again, I would just love for the opportunity to read it at least.
Yeah,
Re-
that's the thing. You know,
remember
when the John Sayles script came out, that was leaked, that potentially was leaked by somebody that didn't want that movie to be made. There was always the rumor that somebody hacked Spielberg's email, which could have happened, very much so. But I think there would have been more important things to leak from Spielberg's emails
Oh.
than the Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
yeah.
Down the pipeline, the word is that was a strategic leak to
Mhm.
get that movie to not be made.
Yes,
The one that is online now. It was Ain't It Cool News that had a script review,
That's
and
right.
down the pipeline, the word is that got leaked to them very strategically, so they could write an article about it, and people can be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Because it's apparently getting dangerously close to being made. So somebody high in the production chain was watching our backs back then, and they
Joe
did.
Johnston and
I mean, literally, if you told me today that it was Joe Johnson, I wouldn't be shocked at this point. Because it was successful. That is what stopped that movie from being made, was the Ain't It Cool News leak.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were
Remember-
quite young when that leaked. It was
Yeah.
2004, I think that leaked, right? 2004,
Yeah.
2005, maybe 2006, maybe a little bit later. But I remember that was religious to me. I would read that medical news post daily and just be
It was
Yes.
crazy getting to read that script after all those years and
Yeah.
finding out that there are even zanier things in the script than what was mentioned like in the review. Like I remember reading when the Dilophosaurus was swinging from tree branch to tree branch with its
It
tail.
wasn't even called the Dilophosaurus in the script, though, was it?
It was the species of lizard that has the frill.
Yeah. It's just like John Sayles just bashing away, writing a script without much like dino knowledge. Funny.
What I was gonna say was, remember when the
Yes,
synopsis for Jurassic World Dominion leaked? Remember that?
Hmm.
Like late
Yeah.
2019, early 2020.
People didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And it was very obviously what was going to happen. Chlamydosaurus.
Yeah, it's like, is that Chlamydiasaurus?
Just swings from the trees and spreads chlamydia to anyone it encounters. Most ridiculous thing. No, that's seriously.
That's a real animal, but that's just a funny name. But that's what
It's
it's
a
called.
funny
in the
name.
script.
Honestly, we have that script on Jurassic Outpost for anybody that seriously hasn't read it. The John Sayles one, you should go in and read that. It is an amazing read. To say that at the time Steven Spielberg commissioned and Kathleen Kennedy commissioned John Sayles, a B movie writer, a very very good B movie writer, to go in and
It's a very clever B movie. It would have been a good movie, just not a good Jurassic movie. But
I just don't understand their thought process of like Jurassic Park 3 and then Kathleen Kennedy openly saying, and Stan Winston, we need to get back to the science and adventure of it. It needs to be half science, half adventure.
To be fair, there was science in that one. There were brain implants in Deinonychus, and they were hybridizing them with dogs. So like there was
the Daihu dogs, Daihu Ogs.
Daihuogs. I don't think that's what they called them in the script, though, right?
I swear it would. Oh no, maybe that was from the Ainticle News thing, but
Yeah, or like that might have been like what, or no, I think that's what I think that dubbing came with the Carlos Uante art, but not from that version
Maybe.
of the script.
I just find it amazing that their thought process was, let's ask John Sayles, writer of Piranha, to have a go at Jurassic. I was like, did they? It wasn't that far off Lost World as well, Spielberg made The Lost World. I don't know if you know that. It was his movie. It just makes me wonder, like, what was going on in their world or in Hollywood at the time to make them think, let's make it a B movie. Let's get a B movie writer in to
Which
do
is
this.
funny because that was like one of the biggest criticisms of Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
It slipped into B movie, monster movie territory, not like.
And then they literally wrote a monster movie. Although the first 10 pages, I forget how much time Nick actually spends on Isla Nublar.
Yeah, it wasn't very long, but
No, it wasn't very long, but it was the best part of the script for me because it was very much in line with what I wanted to see in a Jurassic. Going back to Nublar, some of the raptors have evolved slightly. It's fucking terrifying. The jungle's overgrown. Like, it's gone crazy there because it would have. Like, we know what Hawaii's like. Give it one summer and the whole island's changed because it's overgrown again.
I think bringing Nick Van Owen back is objectively a great idea.
Well, it
So-
actually wasn't Nick Van Owen. It was a different Nick.
No, I know. I
Okay.
know, but I'm taking the conversation to Nick Van Owen. But yeah,
Okay. I'm down with that. I think a Nick Van Owen centered The Lost World. New Jurassic movie with Nick Van Owen is a great idea.
Great
Yeah.
idea.
Sarah Harding should have been back in Dominion.
Sarah Harding, absolutely.
Yeah, no, Sarah. I mean, honestly, Sarah. Out of the characters that make the most sense getting involved in Jurassic again, Sarah Harding and Nick Van Owen make way more sense than Ian Malcolm.
Yeah.
I think bringing Malcolm back for Dominion the way that he was brought back was a mistake, to be honest with you. I think the movie would have been better without him. And that's no, slight on Jeff Goldblum or anything like that. I just don't think it made sense, and I think it just complicated an already complicated, convoluted screenplay even further, and just asked you to just suspend your disbelief for his. I don't know. It was just it was a cartoon. It was a cartoon. Dominion is a cartoon.
I think, like, regardless, like, with dinosaurs out in the wild and, everything that is the Jurassic story now, like, bringing these wildlife aware folks back makes
People that
1000% sense.
Yes, yeah, the people that have been working with these animals for many, many years that are
Exactly.
now forefront experts make a lot more sense than somebody who's never seen a dinosaur before.
Imagine what Nick Van Owen has been doing for the last 25 years in the Jurassic universe, like with dinosaurs in the public sphere.
Joining Greenpeace for the women.
Yeah.
What brought you there? Women. His delivery in that movie is
Hammond's check cleared, or I wouldn't be going on this wild goose chase.
that whole sequence is so good. I love it. I love the whole movie, but that sequence alone, introduction of Nick Van Owen.
Oh man, I might need to watch that movie later tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling.
I haven't watched those movies, any Jurassic Park movie, in years, since like at least last year.
I watched Jurassic World Dominion back in May, and then I watched Jurassic Park 3 last week.
I started trying to rewatch Dominion, and I turned it off at some point.
The last time I watched
Yeah,
any of the
GP3
Jurassic World
well.
movies, except for when Dominion came out, was when I was at yours, Chris, for JP25, and I woke up early, made coffee, and sat down and was like, "Fuck it, I'll watch Jurassic World." And I was sat there like, ugh, "I'm sorry, they're not for me."
I mean,
not
when
for
I
me.
watched Jurassic World Jurassic World Dominion back in May, there were substances involved that made it a blast. So it was great.
Okay, that's on mushrooms is the only way to deal with. No, I do feel like Jurassic Park 3 I haven't watched in a long time, but I went through a phase a few months back where I watched Lost World, and I was with my girlfriend. I made her watch it, although she enjoys it, but you have to kind of ask, can we watch it again? But then the next day I was like, I'm going to watch it again. I have to just go through it again. I wanted that experience. And then I watched it a third time. It's like, okay, I feel like a kid again. This is really, you watch a movie when you're this age kind of thing, and you can't watch it again straight away.
Yeah. Especially when you watch it on the older formats like VHS or even just like OG DVD, not Blu-ray. Like those qualities bring the nostalgia feeling back too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was lucky to watch The Lost World on VHS maybe a year ago. That was an experience, I have to say. That really did. I felt like a child watching that because it just brought me back to my childhood of being sat face to face with the TV and like putting the tape in, rewinding it. all those sounds that a VHS player makes.
They are very satisfying sounds.
Although JP3 is one I never watched on VHS because it was DVDs. It was like that was the era where they were releasing. Both.
Yeah, I have JP3 on VHS, but I've never watched it on VHS. So, yeah.
Well, maybe we should do that together.
Exactly. Yes.
That would be fun.
But the thing
trip
is,
to Orlando, bring a
Yes.
VHS player and that's all I'm going to pack. VHS player, JP3 on VHS. maybe some clothes.
An
figure
old
out
TV that can somehow accept a VHS player, because that's the real trick.
Yeah, exactly. What's crazy is that it's harder to find a VHS player than it is to find Jurassic Park 3 on VHS nowadays, and VHS players cost a fortune now.
They do online. I got the one I've got has some feedback issues. So you turn the volume up, and all you can hear static more than you can hear the volume of the film, which doesn't work, too well. But you go to if you're able to go to like
A garage
they call
sale
them
or
out here, a
something.
thrift store out here.
Yeah,
They call them
yeah.
Thrift stores. They're called charity shops back in the UK. If you go to a thrift store, that's where I got this one. There was stacks of VHSs,
Oh,
but
man.
you have to plug
Yeah.
them in yourself and figure out, well, does it work? It might work. Let's just take a gamble. It's $5,
Yeah.
But you're right. I looked. Funnily enough, I looked recently online to see if I could get a new VHS player. The last one was made by a company in Japan in 2017, but it retails online if you can find it for about $400.
Yeah, I'm looking on
Yeah.
Amazon. You guys aren't kidding.
Yeah, like you
There,
can't buy them anymore.
what the dream, like what I would like to do is to find one of those OG TVs that have a VHS player built into it.
Yeah.
Like that would just be the perfect thing. But those are also very expensive.
It just
nowadays.
makes me wish that I'd kept the one we used to have. 'cause
We
growing
used
up,
to.
it was
We all used to have like 5 in our house at a time.
yeah. I remember in my bedroom. I think I had a TV with a VHS player in the bottom of it.
Yeah, I
Small
remember
little TV.
Yep.
But you get rid of it when you upgrade to a flat screen. You never think, well, this is going to be relevant someday. We're going to be sat here 10, 15, 20 years on wishing we'd kept that.
You never think
crappy
I'm gonna
little
go
TV.
back and instead of watching something in 8K, I want to go back and watch it on VHS.
Yeah,
So-
seriously.
The only thing I miss are the pre-rolls and the post-rolls for like the parks and whatnot
yeah.
on the VHS. Otherwise, I jumped to DVD and then to Blu-ray and never looked back.
I don't think
Yeah.
I could watch a DVD now. That's one thing, especially with how big TVs have become. The stretched standard definition image is not a good look.
Yeah.
But it's just there's something that comes from watching a VHS, whether it's the nostalgia, whether it's just that whole era, that whole generation. The fact that it's still technically like film, right? It's tape. It's on celluloid that's running
Yeah.
around a tiny little thing. It's something about it. It's good fun. The whirring that you hear. But yeah, who knows? I think that would be cool. Yeah, one day I think if they make another Jurassic, they should release it on VHS. Like some horror movies now. If you've ever seen Skinamarink, I don't know if you've seen that. It's a horror movie it's like got a VHS feel to it. If you haven't seen Skinamarink, by the way, watch it. It's insane. It broke me because it's so scary. But they released it on VHS, and I was like, that is damn cool.
That's
Especially
awesome.
as like a horror collector. If you're a horror collector, that's the kind of thing that you want on VHS because it's got that feel to it. It makes it even creepier watching it on VHS.
Do it for Jurassic Park's 50th anniversary. Release it on VHS.
They should have re-released it this year.
I know. Jurassic Park 30th. Yeah.
Cool. That would have been cool. Well, there's still
Yeah.
time. But guys, this has been fun. It's
Absolutely.
always a blast to talk Jurassic, and I'm sure we missed a bunch of stuff that we had planned to talk about. But either way, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, and
Thank you.
let's hope that next time we've got some new news to talk about.
Yeah.
We are coming up fast on the pre-order for the Jurassic Park Classic Collection from Limited Run Games.
Oh yeah.
So fingers crossed they're going to surprise us and put the Sega Genesis games in there. But either way, I'm just looking forward to seeing the collector edition and whatnot and getting my hands on that. So
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun to play that, and hopefully it does really well. So there's
And-
a chance that they could do future Jurassic games.
exactly.
Remains to be seen. But either way, thank you for listening to episode 107 of the InGeneral podcast. Head to JurassicOutpost.com for, honestly, some of the best news you'll ever see. I don't know why I said that. There's just news on
The
there.
best news.
The best news is
The
on
best news ever.
there. Only the best news. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. I'll speak to you on the next podcast, and definitely not in between that.
Bye.
Bye.